What is aristocracy? Past and present. Aristocracy is a form of government characterized by a small, exclusive group having the autonomy to rule over everyone else in the country. Merriam, 1938, provided a more complete and formal definition of the term, stating that it is a form of political association in which the major decisions regarding policy are habitually made by a small section of the community acting through procedures and institutions adapted to this end. The small group may or may not comprise the nobility, depending on the social and historical context of that society. The idea of aristocracy dates back to ancient Greek, and Plato was one of its biggest advocates, as manifested in his seminal work The Republic, 381 BC. Aristocrats harness their legitimacy through the concept of exclusivity. Their group possesses something that others do not and cannot, and by the virtue of that something they are superior to the rest. In the case of kingdoms and empires, exclusivity is the idea that the ruling family has been granted authority by God to set standards for other men and women. Aristocracy and Democracy, 1919. Apart from dominating the entire platform of governance, aristocrats also symbolize behaviors and values that influence wider society through forums like arts and literature, especially in the early modern period. Not only were arts and literature thought to be inherently aristocratic avenues in general, the poetry and theater of the time celebrated aristocratic values such as power and prestige. This was especially the case in 17th century France, where writers such as Corneille and Racine wrote plays celebrating extravagance and pride. Aristocracy has largely disappeared from the modern world after the decline of noble families and monarchic rulers. The First World War, for example, was essentially an event where modern nation-states like France, United Kingdom and the United States defeated and laid to rest older forms of government as represented by German, Ottoman and Austro-Hungarian empires. In the 20th century, aristocracy came to be viewed in a negative light, with democracy being touted as the modern panacea for human ills. Representing the sentiments of the time, one writer expressed the incompatibility of aristocrats with democracy in this matter. Every suggestion that is pleasing to aristocrats is anti-democratic. Aristocracy and Democracy, 1919. Even though modern political systems are not structurally aristocratic, today's elites carry a deep mark of aristocratic mannerism, behavior and practices. One major difference is that their membership is based, largely, on educational threshold rather than blood relations. Halls, 1970.